Hello, aviators. Welcome back. As you know, us pilots rely on precision and accuracy in every phase of flight. When it comes to instrument approaches, understanding the difference between the final approach fix and the final descent point is crucial. Yet, many pilots, especially during training, struggle with distinguishing these two key points. Today, we're breaking it all down. First, let's define the FAF, or final approach fix. The FAF is a crucial point in a non-precision approach, marking the beginning of the final approach segment. It is the point where the aircraft should begin its descent toward the minimum descent altitude, or MDA. See how I am only talking about the final approach fix. This is because in this video, we will only talk about non-precision approaches. Remember that for precision approaches, we use FAP, final approach point, but that I explain in another video. So, some of the key characteristics of the final approach fix are: first, it's found only in non-precision approaches. Second, it represents the beginning of the final approach segment. And third, is located at a specific distance from the runway threshold, meaning is in a physical geographical location. And how can we find the final approach fix in our charts? Well, the FAF is represented with the Maltese cross. See if you can tell me the name of the final approach fix in this chart of the RNP approach for runway 12 in Monterrey Airport, Mexico. Correct. The final approach fix in this approach is Mike Yankee 604. So, why can I see the Maltese cross in this chart for an ILS precision approach for runway 8 in Hollywood Burbank Airport, formerly called Bob Hope Airport, after entertainer Bob Hope? Is it because is Hollywood and these people are weird? No! Remember that in most ILS charts, we can find the localizer-only approach, which is also a non-precision approach. That is the reason. Now, let's talk about the final descent point, or FDP. Unlike the final approach fix, the final descent point is not explicitly marked on the chart. It is a point where the pilot initiates a stable descent to the MDA to ensure a safe landing or a timely missed approach. And here is where we find the main difference between the two concepts. The final descent point is pilot calculated, or in many cases, aircraft database calculated. The next time you fly to Monterrey, Mexico, pay attention to your database. You may find out that your final descent point is actually Mike Yankee 603 and not Mike Yankee 604. That will depend on how your aircraft database has been coded. And why is this important? Well, remember that when we are doing an RNP approach in our lovely Airbus 320, when using final APP mode is recommended to arm the approach when the final descent point is the to-waypoint. Remember the final descent point, not the final approach fix. So one more time, the two condition to arm final app is: the aircraft is clear for the approach and the to-waypoint is the final descent point. And the second important thing is that you cannot accept a direct to the final approach fix nor the final descent point. Okay, so is clear how to identify the final approach fix in our charts with the Maltese cross. But how do we identify our final descent point in our aircraft flight management system database? Very easy as well. Simply find the point at which the descent angle follows. In the example number 1, Foxtrot Delta 14 Romeo, you can see how after you have the 3-degree descent angle. In this case, if you pay attention to the chart, You realize that the Maltese Cross is also at Foxtrot Delta 14 Romeo. This is one of the most common cases where final approach fix coincide with the final descent point. On our example number 2, we see that our final approach fix is at point ATPL, but in our database we see that our final descent point is actually Nyan. In this case, we should arm the approach when our two-way point is Nyan, as our aircraft has calculated a continuous descent from Nyan to our miss approach point. Our example number 3, I leave to you. What do you think is the final approach fix, and which one the final descent point? When should I arm the approach in example number 3? Let me know in the comments. To summarize, the final approach fix is a fixed point marking the start of the final approach segment for non-precision approaches. The final descent point, on the other hand, is a calculated point where the final descent to the MDA should begin to ensure a stabilized approach. Understanding these 2 points will improve your situational awareness, enhance your IFR flying skills, and help you execute safer approaches. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever faced confusion between the FAF and FDP? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more aviation insights. Safe flying!